Hi everyone, I'm here. Hope you guys are going to join me. I have a couple of things that I want to start out with because I've seen a lot of questions about turners and footballs. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my live explaining something about footballs that we use for our turners. I just want to do this so that if oh, I have sparkles, so that if people have any questions about footballs that they use on their turners, I can refer them to this video. So bear with me. If you already know this stuff, my apologies, but I want to make sure I captured this somewhere in a video that is easy for me to refer people to. So essentially, I've had a lot of people ask about what footballs are best, or what people use to keep their cups onto their turners. Hi, Tammy. I want to show you the differences, because when I started doing cups, I used a whole bunch of different methods. Hi, Mickey. Or a lot of different ways to keep my cups on the handles, I guess. And I want to just show a difference between the footballs, especially the Dollar Tree footballs. So I like the footballs from the Dollar Tree. Okay, these guys. Oops, this guy. This connects to, normally connects to like a Nerf thing. Hi, Anna. It's got like another piece to it when you buy it. These ones are great. Now, the difference between these footballs and these footballs, oh wait, I'll put it back into view. It's like the opposite for me. Do you see how flimsy that is? Like, you see how easy it is for me to press? These guys are much more solid. Okay, so I've been answering a lot of questions about this. For those of you who've just joined, I just wanted to post this in this video so that I can inform people or refer them to the video, so I can show them the difference between the different footballs, because I find that people are like, well, what do I use? What's the best thing to use? People use pool noodles. I found that those didn't work very well for me, but actually, I've heard that pool noodles with, what do they call, the things to keep your utensils from moving. They're like mats, I guess, that you put. Those are really good. But anyway, I, by far, prefer these kind of footballs. This is for a 20 ounce. And these balls for a 30 ounce. So, like, I can put, and I'll show you guys, just, I'm waiting for people to get on. This is a 30 ounce Aladdin on one of those footballs. Okay. Once it's on there, it's not going anywhere. This is what you want. So anyway, I just wanted to post about that, or to make a video about that, so that people know about these footballs while people are joining in. Yes, rubber shelf paper with noodles. Yeah, that works for some people. I had only used the pooled noodles, and I had an old turner, and they didn't work very well. So I purchased a turner from Hannah K. Davis, and they came with these, and I was like, oh, because like they're amazing. They're very, very different. Because I'm in Canada. Some of you guys might not know that, and we don't have these guys. We only have these like cheapy ones that are like super flimsy. So anyway, I hope I can help somebody out with that, and just point them to this video, to the beginning couple minutes, 4 minutes of this video, and say, hey, watch this, because I gave a little bit of an explanation on that. So hope it helps. Now let's get started. So I want to do another swirl cup because I love these. I have a pretty stressful job during the week. I work at a university. Hi, Becky. In Canada, and I work with students who commit fraud. So it kind of can be taxing at times. And so this is my release for me. My art, by the way, I don't know if you guys just heard that. That's my cat. Hi, Rose. My cat may interrupt us because he's been very vocal tonight, just just meowing at me. So I will so you might hear him. It's crazy. He's very vocal. So yeah, I'll be making a swirl cup tonight, and I think I've had a challenge with pinks, so I'm going to try pinks again. Every time I've tried pinks, I've had sort of like peachy, weird things happen, and I actually have a video of my son stripping a cup for me that turned out like not good. Like several months ago, it was like a peachy, not pink. So yeah. Oh yeah, the balls, by the way, the footballs come from the Dollar Tree. And I bought a bunch of them. So Amanda, yeah, the Dollar Tree, they're $1. So they're fantastic. I love them. They ran out at one point, and I was like, do you have any more? And she's like, yeah, we just got a stock in. And I was like, wow, because it's winter here, there's snow everywhere, so I'm thinking, anyway, but I lucked out. Oh, hi, Melinda from South Texas. Sorry if I didn't write your name or spell your name or say your name correctly. And hi, Amanda, again. You're welcome. All right, so now I experiment with a lot of different products. So I'll go to different stores, and if you've watched any of my other videos, I've only done like 2 lives, but I've had a couple of other videos on my YouTube. I've tried a lot of stuff in epoxy, stuff that probably shouldn't be put in epoxy, but I just thought, meh. I just went and kind of anything that was colorful. Okay, we'll try that. Like RIT powder. Hi, Stephanie. Stuff like that. And yeah, so that does not work. The powdered RIT stuff to dye clothes does not work. I've already said that before. For those of you who do not know, I heard that the liquid stuff may work. So I haven't seen that around me, but if you guys see some, maybe you want to pick some up and try it. I did find this product, and I'm not sure if you guys have this. This is a pink. So I've had a hard time with acrylics and pink. I don't know if you guys have had a hard time as well finding pink in acrylic paint, or like I went to a store. It has thousands of different colors of acrylic paint, but for some reason it only has like maybe a dozen pinks, different pinks. Like each sort of company that sells acrylic paints will have like 1 or 2 different shades of pink. So it's been really difficult for me to find or to get a really pink tumbler. So I'm going to try with this for sure. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to try some actual acrylic paint in a tube, and I may play around with it and see if I can dilute it with some white and make some shades, and we'll see what comes out of that. So glitter on my face. Yes, I know. It's everybody in my household has glitter on their face. My son has glitter on his face. He's 14, but he's like 6'2", so he looks like a man. And he plays hockey, and his friends noticed the glitter on his face, and he said, yeah, I was at a strip club. My son said that to his teammates. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of glitter in my house. needless to say. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing my epoxy because I'm super excited to get this done, and I hope it's successful. I know, by the way, I've used this in the brown to make a beach cup. It didn't quite turn out as a beach cup, but I did have, the brown turned out beautifully, but it's just the rest of it didn't turn out great. So I know that this paint works really well in epoxy. So I'm hoping it does today too. Let me go get my stuff. And by the way, I have a webcam now. So for those of you who have seen my other videos and have seen how difficult it was, I found a way. So I will position you so that you can absolutely see what I'm doing and have some good lighting. So, yay. Where does he get that dirty humor from? I don't know. It's not from me. Good question, Stephanie. Okay. All right. So I'll show you a few of the tools that I use just in case it helps you out. Oh, hi, Mindy. So I use these guys, these little measuring cups. Now, the difference, and I don't know where you get these, but if you guys, I get these from my husband's work. My husband's work orders these, and I actually pay them to order these for me because he works in a group home with children with disabilities, and they're on a lot of different medications, and this is how they administer the medications. So I had asked him about these cups. The difference between these guys and the ones that you get into in the Illuminite kits, and I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, you must have, I guess, if you guys use the Illuminite epoxy or the Amazing epoxy. So the numbers are for the Illuminite are on the inside. So once you put your one side in, it kind of covers the numbers, and it's difficult to see. So these ones, the numbers are on the outside. So if you guys are ever looking for measuring cups, try to find out if the numbers are on the outside or the inside, because I can guarantee you this is so much easier because they don't disappear. You can totally see them, whether you put your epoxy in, like after you put your epoxy in, whichever side, doesn't matter. You can totally see the numbers. So I found these, and my husband brought them, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. So I love these. I wish I could tell you guys where to get them, but I don't know. They just order them through some kind of medical, supplies place. Anyway, so these are little silicone cups. I use these to mix my epoxy in just because I just want to be able to reuse something. I'm throwing out a lot of stuff. I will be throwing this out, by the way, once I use it. But I mix in this. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a popsicle stick. Oops, move my light. I also use the larger popsicle sticks because it makes less bubbles than the smaller ones. And when you mix, just a little tip for those of you who don't know, just mix without lifting your stick a lot, because as you're lifting it, it will cause bubbles. So when I mix, I just keep my stick inside and I just kind of gently mix like this. I don't like mix crazy. I just kind of fold it and fold it and fold it. And usually that causes less bubbles and works better than if you mix really, really fast, or you keep putting your stick out of your cup. So I'm going to put, and for today, I will mix, normally for these guys, I mix 2 full pumps because I'm afraid of running out, but I've wasted a lot of epoxy. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use 1 full pump of each. 1 full pump is usually 25 mils in here, between 25 and 30. So just to let you know how much I'm using, and I'm going to hope that that's enough. If it's not, well, I'll have to mix some more. So I use, by the way, Promarine epoxy. So I'm going to move my light over there. Here are my jugs back here. And you'll see this guy's really easy to pump. Just go ahead and pump. And this guy's a little bit harder. I usually actually put him on the floor because I broke my wrist last year, so it's a lot harder for me than maybe you guys. I'm actually going to go ahead. I usually put something on the floor just to make sure it doesn't get on the floor, but I cleaned it earlier today, so it should be good. All right, there we go. So I think I missed a couple of questions. I'm trying to to keep up. Oh, and the bowls. So for those of you who use the bowls or who are looking at using these like silicone bowls, what I do to clean them out is I turn them inside out, and a lot of the epoxy after they've cured. So you just have to peel the epoxy off. And sometimes there's, you know, little bits that stay. I'll take like a fine sandpaper and just kind of sandpaper to get the little bits off, because the last thing you want is to start mixing like this and have the little bits that are left over in your epoxy, especially when you're doing a final coat. You don't want little bits. You want it to be as smooth as possible. So I'm pretty picky about the sides of my bowl and making sure that I get all of the little bits off of my bowl. Try to clean it as much as possible so that there's nothing left in the epoxy. Those who know me well, Stephanie, know how much I've struggled to get a really good coat of epoxy, and how important it is to me to get sort of a smooth, perfect coat. It's difficult to get. You know, I think, you know, struggle to get it, but you know, my standard is if I have less than 5 little you can't even see them, but you know, when you touch the outside, the last layer, less than 5 little bits that you can feel with your finger but you can't actually see, that's my standard. So that's something that I've set for myself. No lumps or bumps or anything that can be seen. But I don't know, when you kind of touch your cup when you're done with it, I prefer it to not have any. I want it to be as smooth as possible, smooth as glass, as they say. Oh, and by the way, I use a Promarine, which to me is what has allowed me to achieve that. I used to use the Amazing brand, which was fine, but when I started using this, it was just better for me. So, but to each their own, because I know some people aren't doing so well with it. So I guess it depends on your technique and the temperature is also important. All right, so now that I've mixed my epoxy, you've seen how much you want to mix it until it's no longer sort of cloudy. It's got some bubbles in there. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it a little bit. I just do the surface with my embossing gun in the cup. Okay. Just to get rid of some of the surface bubbles, I'm going to let it sit while I prepare everything else, and some of the bubbles will rise, and I'll just do that one more time maybe, and it should be good. Yeah, so the warm water trick, I've never tried that, but what I have done, I don't know if you guys see, well, this is a heater. I have, by accident, put the heater on and had it pointed sort of towards the part B. I found that it had a lot less bubbles when I pumped it out. Now, is this important to me in most of my coats? No, because unless it's my final coat, I'm not too worried about bubbles, to be quite honest, because I will take my embossing gun and I will get most of the bubbles out once the epoxy's on the cup. So I'm not too fanatic about that, to be honest. My final coat, like if I know I'm doing 3 cups, my final coat, yes, I will turn the heater on and just try to maximize, you know, or minimize the bubbles and maximize my chances of having a super smooth coat. But I find that using the gun, you know, after I mix, even if there's bubbles in my epoxy, they go away. Like, they're very rarely do I ever see bubbles. And I know that because I found a cup, my 3rd cup that I ever did, which was for my husband, and he brings it to work, and I haven't seen it since I made it, you know, months and months ago. I think I made it last August, and I looked at it, I took pictures of it because somebody wanted to see detailed pictures, and I was like, oh, because there's bubbles everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. But, you know, my 3rd cup, it's what it is, right? I didn't know any better, but now I do. So, okay, I'll grab my next, my little cups for my colors. All right. So I usually separate. Yes, that's a very good point, Stephanie. You don't want to cook your epoxy to the point where it's, I found that if I use my embossing gun too much in the bowl, if I'm trying to get rid of the bubbles, I find that when I apply it, I'll find little bits that have cooked. It's almost like it kind of formed a little crystal from it cooking too much. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of conservative with the heat. I do have a light above my cups. It's a work lamp. I can't remember exactly what the term is, but it gives off a lot of heat, but without being like a heater where there's a draft, right? And it's fantastic for curing cups. I found out that it takes less than 3 hours and my cups are cured. Like, I can touch them, I can handle them, no problem with those lights. Yeah, you want to be careful with that. That's plenty. That's it. Halogen work lamps. That's what it is. So you don't want to overdo it. You just especially with certain epoxies, you've got to be careful. See, to me, try, if you're trying different epoxies, try what works for you and stick with what works. Yes, I will show you the light in a moment. When I move to the cup there, I found a place where I can put it where you can really see the cup. I will show you the light. So give me a moment and I will do that. So here's my my mixed epoxy. I'm going to move things over here and maybe set these guys here for you guys. Okay. I usually divide it in at least 4 or 5 parts. I'm kind of conservative, so I do 4, and then I keep a little bit more in the little bowl just in case, because if I mess up, I have some more that I can use to kind of fix my mistakes. So what I do is I just kind of evenly try to put it into 5 parts. Okay, just a bit. A little popsicle stick in each. Oh, well, that popsicle stick broke. It's interesting. Broken stick. Don't know how that happened, but there we go. Okay, number 3. And I actually have some sticks here. There we go. Number 4. And I've kept some behind. I like to use a lot of different variations. So, oh yeah, those are IKEA. They're called bag dispensers. So you put plastic bags in them normally. So all my vinyl is up there. So I don't know if you guys want to see. That's sort of my whole wall there is vinyl, and I've got some up there. I don't know if you can see. Oh, and I'll show you my light while I'm at it. So there's the light. It's one of those, the mechanics use them, I guess, and it's against the wall. Now, if I touch that wall, I can guarantee you it is not hot, or else I would not leave this on as long as I do. I'm just going to set you guys back up. There you go. That lamp is fantastic. I love it. I think it was Stephanie actually who told me about that lamp, and I had two of them lying around my house. I'm also a part-time photographer, and when I first started photography, I'm like, oh great, these big lights. That's why I bought these lights, because nobody in my house is handy, so that's not why we would buy those. Because they give off like such a great light. And yeah, so we had them lying around from years and years ago, and then when I think Stephanie was the one who told me, yeah, she's like, oh, I use these lights, and I thought, oh, ding ding ding, of course. Fantastic. So they're great. Like I said, everything cures so fast with those lights. So I've mixed these 4 containers here. I'm going to put you guys, there you go. I'm going to bring you guys a bit lower. Sorry, guys. I'll show you guys the colors a little bit more. Sorry, I'm trying to get this guy to sit for you. There you go. This one has the most epoxy in it, so I'm going to use that as my pink, because I'm going to use several different shades. Now I've been mixing this, but I'm just going to go ahead and mix this a little bit here. Oh, hi Colleen, by the way. I just put a few drops of this in here. Oh wow, that's a beautiful pink. Okay. I'm wondering if I should go with gold or if I should go with silver. I like to either put gold, silver. I like to put some neutrals with my my colors. Some white, black. I don't know. I'm thinking. Yeah, that's very pretty. So what I normally do to make sure that the color is nice and good, you don't want to be able to look through the color. You want it to be opaque. So far, so good with this one. Let me see what I've got. I think I'm going to try. I have a pearl white. Yes, okay. This is airbrush paint. If you've ever watched one of my videos, another one of my live videos, I showed you guys that this airbrush paint is really, really good. So for those of you who've ever used acrylic in epoxy, you know that just acrylic paint, it can sometimes become really, really thick and goopy and like really hard to work with. These paints don't do that, and I found that this is also a good one. So the one that I'm doing the pink color with. So I'm going to go and use these 2 colors for now. I just put a few drops of each, by the way, and I just play around with it. I put a little bit mix it in until I get the desired sort of look. See, I would put a couple more drops because I can see it's still a bit translucent. Put about 3 more drops in there. Maybe 6 drops in total. I want it to cover the stainless steel, otherwise, well, then it's not going to look. It's not going to look good. I actually have a tumbler that I have to strip because some of it, you can still see the stainless steel. It looks kind of weird, so I have to strip that. I also have this pink. I'm wondering how close that is. It's kind of close. So instead of doing that, What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same pink here, and I'm going to add some white to it to make it a shade lighter. So I've got my original pink, my pearl white. I'm going to use this pink, but I'm going to add some white to it to make it a little bit lighter. Then maybe I'm going to add, what do you guys think of adding like purple, like a nice rich purple? Like purple and pink are my favorite colors. So I think that's what I'm going to do. What do you guys think? Let's make this girly. So this is the white. So I had white. This comes in pearl, and it comes in just white opaque. So I'm going to use just the regular white opaque. So, and add it to the pink that I put in here to make a lighter pink. I like to do shades of the same color. Okay, so this, I'm going to show you guys the color in a moment because you can see a little bit better. And I can see that this is getting a little bit thick. So I might add some more epoxy to it. Oh, it's not so bad. We'll see how it goes. Okay, and my last one, yeah, I'm going to do purple. I'm going to do purple because I like it. I'm going to use, again, the airbrush paint. It's called Testers. By the way, these airbrush paints you can get at Michael's. And in the airbrush paint section. Again, just a few drops. I think I paid, I'm in Canada, I paid $6.99 for them. They don't get all thick and goopy. They're nice and liquid. And yeah, I love them. Okay, I think this is going to be good. I've got a dark pink, I've got my pearl white, I've got my lighter pink, and my purple. So I'm going to show you guys that. I'm going to move the camera over. I'm going to cover it so that you guys don't get all dizzy and crazy, and I'll put it up there for you. So just give me a second. You'll be able to see what I'm doing.